You know that moment when you're in the middle of an ordinary day and something small happens, a tone in someone's voice, a comment, an unexpected call, and suddenly you're pulled back emotionally or mentally somewhere you didn't want to go. That pull comes from having often a narcissistic parent. And in this video, we're talking about the hardest parts of that experience, the ones that nothing prepares you for, even after years of trying to understand it. I'm Jerry Wise, and for over 45 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of people heal and get their families of origins out of them by practicing self-differentiation. The process of becoming your true self and releasing the false self you were trained to be in your family of origin, so that you can finally experience clarity, peace, and lasting freedom. There are parts of this experience the books don't cover. And therapy and coaching may not even cover these as well. Let me walk you through 10 of them that you might identify with today. The first one, grieving a narcissistic parent who is still alive. You started grieving before you understood what you were losing. Not a parent who was gone, but a parent who was present and still unreachable. In the house or at the table, in the room with you, and still what you needed from them was never there. You just didn't have permission to call it a real loss. Nothing prepares you for what that grief looks like as an adult. Because the person you're mourning is still alive, still calling, still in your life in some form, you can't explain to people why you're heartbroken over a narcissistic parent who is still texting you. People don't know what to do with that kind of grief. Until you name it as grief, real grief with weight and history, it just lives in your chest without a place to go and without being identified. Number 2, why healing from the narcissistic family first makes things harder before it gets better. Growing up, you learned how to manage the family's anxiety to try to manage your own anxiety. You kept the peace. You stayed small. You didn't push back. And even if you tried to push back, it didn't work. Even if you tried to get larger, it didn't work. Even if you ignored trying to keep the peace, it only got worse. That was survival inside a narcissistic family that had a specific role in mind for you. But here's the part nothing prepares you for. When you start to change, when you begin setting a limit, when you show up differently, simply existing as yourself, the family emotionally escalates. And you feel like the problem. You feel like you broke something. The people around you are dysregulated. And your old training says that means you did something wrong. When the narcissistic family escalates, it's the family system protecting the old order, not evidence that you made a mistake or there's something wrong with you. This family escalation pulls you back into old roles, old feelings, and old reactivity. And for the first time, you are the one the system is pushing back against because you are no longer willing to disappear. Not my beach, not my sandcastle, not my farm, not my pigs. This is very important detachment that we need to learn to recover, heal, and grow from a narcissistic family background. I'm not going to take responsibility for your feelings, your direction, your plan. I'm not going to take responsibility for that. Well, Mom, I don't want to go to a Mexican restaurant. Why don't we go to an Asian restaurant? I'd really like that. The third one, the narcissistic parent who moved inside your head. Growing up, you didn't just absorb your parents' rules, you absorbed their voice. Their commentary became your inner critic, the one that said you were too much and too sensitive, worthless, dumb, or foolish. Even with distance, that voice travels with you. You'll be about to ask for a raise, and ask for a raise at work, and then you'll hear the voice. You'll be about to tell someone what you actually need and feel, and this voice comes on and shuts you down. You make a mistake at work. You hear the voice. You simply forget something, and you hear it and hear that voice again. The hardest part isn't getting a physical distance from your narcissistic parent. It's recognizing which thoughts belong to you and which ones were installed by the family system emotional programming before you were old enough to question them. This next one is hard and it's difficult to talk about. Number 4, loving a narcissistic parent who hurt you. You were hurt, dismissed, shaped by a narcissistic parent in ways that cost you, and you still loved them. That is not a flaw in your character. That is what children do. Love was the first survival strategy you had, wired in long before you understood what you were surviving. That love doesn't disappear just because you understand what happened. You can know exactly what your narcissistic parent cost you and still find yourself hoping the next conversation will be different with her or him. Still softening when they show a moment of warmth, still wanting in some part of you for things to be what they never were. That is not weakness. That is the love that formed before you had any choice in the matter. Learning what to do with that love without letting it override what you know can be one of the hardest parts of the recovery part of being an adult child of a narcissist. Number 5, the day you see your narcissistic parent in yourself. Growing up in a narcissistic family, you didn't just observe the dysfunction, you absorbed it. The family system shaped you in ways you couldn't see from the inside. Then one day, in a moment with your partner, your child, a colleague, you hear and see it. Your narcissistic parent's words come out of your mouth. Their defensiveness, their need to control, showing up in your own behavior. And really nothing prepares you for that moment. And it can be a pretty heavy moment. Now, I do want to say very clearly, that moment does not make you a narcissist. And the things we've learned and experienced often don't prepare us for that. But it is also one of the most important moments in your recovery because it's proof that the family system is still running inside of you, and awareness is where the real work begins. Number 6, who you are without your narcissistic family's programming. Nobody prepared you for that. Did anyone say, now as you get older and as you recover, as you do better, as you go to therapy, coaching, as you read books, that what you're going to experience is this? In your narcissistic family, you were given a role. The caretaker, the achiever, the one who stayed invisible and performed on command. The role didn't feel like a role. It felt like who you were. When you begin to do the work of healing, something no one prepares you for is this. You start letting go of the role, and underneath it, there's an emptiness, a silence where your identity used to be or was supposed to be. Nobody warned you that healing first feels like losing yourself. That silence is the space where your real self begins to emerge. But it takes time and it takes courage to sit in this transitional state without reaching back for the old role. And in the Road to Self program, I talk about that and how we fill that empty space and how we can recover. Number 7, why knowing what your narcissistic parent did doesn't make the guilt stop. Your narcissistic family trained you to feel responsible for your parents' emotional state. The moods were your fault when you grew up. Their unhappiness was your problem to fix. That got wired into you long before you had the ability to question it. So now, even after years of understanding, even after you can name every dynamic and explain every pattern, the guilt still shows up. You make decisions that's right for you, and that guilt shows up. You choose yourself, and ta-da, it's there again. Knowledge or insight doesn't delete the programming. Understanding what happened is one step. Getting the family out of you, the part that keeps running even when your mind knows better, is a different and slower process. Number 8, the loneliness of being the only one who sees your narcissistic family clearly. You finally understand what happened. You've done the reading, the therapy, the coaching, and the work, and you go back to your family and no one else sees it. Your siblings defend your narcissistic parent. Your extended family minimizes the craziness of a narcissistic parent. The people who lived in the same house look at you like you're rewriting history. Well, no, you're each looking at the same data, but looking at it with a different perspective and a different understanding and a different insight, typically. That loneliness is one of the hardest parts of this recovery, and nothing prepares you for it. Nobody says, now remember, if you're going to get better, you're going to feel lonely. The clarity you work so hard to become can result in an isolation or isolating in a way you didn't expect. And the old training makes it worse. The training that told you your perception couldn't be trusted. When everyone around you disagrees with you, your nervous system reaches for the familiar conclusion that you must be wrong. You are not wrong. You are simply the one who decided to see clearly. Number 9, what growing up in a narcissistic family does to your nervous system. Your nervous system was shaped by your narcissistic family before you had words for what was even happening. The hypervigilant, the tension you carried, maybe the mistrust, the way a certain tone of voice made you immediately tense or feel very small. Your body recorded all of it. For many people, the body starts speaking long before the mind catches up. Anxiety with no clear cause, exhaustion that doesn't lift, a tightening in your chest when you see an unfamiliar number on your phone. Healing your understanding and healing your nervous system are two different processes, and the body can take even longer. That's not a flaw in your recovery. That's the nature of how early experiences are stored. And the 10th one, why healing from a narcissistic parent doesn't go in a straight line. In a narcissistic family, stability was never guaranteed. Things could shift in a moment. Progress could be taken away. Your nervous system learned to expect that. So when recovery has that same quality, when you have months of real growth and then something pulls you back, a family gathering, a phone call, a comment that shouldn't have been landed out there, it can feel like you've lost everything you've built. Nothing prepares you for how many times healing from a narcissistic parent feels like starting over. But here's the truth. It is not starting over. Every time you return to this work from a new place, you are going deeper into the root of the programming. That's not going backwards. That's exactly how the process, growth, recovery, and self-differentiation works. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self, then join my Road to Self program. Many who joined say it was the missing piece in their healing journey, the step that finally helped them get their family out of them and stand strong as their true self. If you're not sure the Road to Self program is for you, then start with my free 84-minute self-differentiation training. Over 50,000 people have joined the free training as their first step. Click the links in the description to get started. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. I want you to comment on this video. I read the comments on my videos. And also hit the bell icon. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day and be wise.